Hi, welcome to If You Live It. Quick rundown of what you're going to see in this video. I'm going to go through the timestamps real quick so you have an idea of what's going to be discussed. In general, these are long-form conversations that are dedicated to spiritual truths, dedicated to transcending the ego, fear in all of its forms, created so that you can have your own experience of a pathway of maybe something similar to what you're accustomed to or something completely different. This pathway is rooted in surrender, forgiveness, gratitude, service. We put you in the footsteps of the religious figureheads, of Krishna, of Jesus, of the Buddha, of Lao Tzu, of so many more in so many wonderful ways. But let's jump in real quick just to give you a quick idea of what's in this, what's in store, and why you should really check it out and continue watching. So first, at about the 2:20 mark, we talk about the pathway of If You Live It. What is it? What is it not? At the 7:30 mark, we talk about how to walk down a pathway. It doesn't necessarily need to be this one. If your world is about the Eightfold Path, if your world is about active inaction, if your world is about service, the heart, whatever pathway you use to walk down, whatever religion is a part of that for you to know God, we talk about the steps it takes to actually know God through that pathway. We get into at the 10:41 mark, finding peace. What does that actually mean in the world that we're living in today? How do you find peace? How are you in this world but not of it? Then we go to the 14:50 mark, the process of letting go of attachments. We point back to If You Live It as a pathway, and we go deeper into the need to surrender over attachments and aversions to this world if you hope to find peace in it in any way whatsoever. Then at the 16:36 mark, being ready for change, how you have to prime yourself to be ready for a change that can come into your life. Change doesn't happen if you're not ready for a change to happen. At the 20:29 mark, we dive deeper into acceptance, which is the title of this entire Wednesday kind of conversation around a spiritual truth. It's about acceptance. What is it? Why is it powerful? How does it work? Why you should care? Why it matters. Then we jump into the last bit at 24:11, which sums up the end and takes us into the end, which is about fear and love, the importance of both, how to embrace them, be them, come from them, understand them, use them. So that's this video in a nutshell. 27 minutes to follow if you so choose. If not, bookmark it, subscribe to it, come back to it. Every one of these conversations is about delivering more detail to you about a particular piece of this book, If You Live It, this pathway of If You Live It to know God for yourself. Peace, love, check it out, come back, be part of this community. It's growing by leaps and bounds. See ya. Welcome to If You Live It, where we're having a conversation today where we are diving deeper into acceptance. Don't change the channel. Don't turn it off. Don't look away. Be present for the next 2 minutes, the next 3 minutes. See what it is we're introducing. Determine if it's for your soul's highest good to continue watching or move away. Give it 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. I guarantee you, if you have any desire in your being to find more truth in your life, to know the reality of the self, to move towards the gift of enlightenment, to increase your station in life, to just find a little bit of happiness, peace, joy, freedom from worries, fears, desires, cravings, wants, you'll see that here. You'll see that in this channel. You'll see that in all the information we provide to you. You'll see it because at the root of it is what you've been praying for, is what you've been asking for, is what your soul is calling out for, is yearning for. It's truth. It's truth in abundance. It's truth on truth on truth on truth, with so much power emanating from it that just by becoming part of this community, your entire world will change. Your entire life will change from this point forward. This community is growing and growing and growing. And at the point of recording this, there's 21, 22, 20 plus thousand subscribers to this particular channel in about 5 weeks' time from all over the world, from the United States of America, from North America in general, from India, from Nepal, from Bangladesh, from China, from Russia, from the whole world in bits and pieces are finding this and utilizing this. and diving deeper into their own experience of truth with the aid of this. What is this? This is If You Live It. This is a program, a pathway that does not require dues or fees. It does not require you to subscribe to anything. Actually, I don't even care if you subscribe to these videos or this channel or these things, because when you're ready for something like this to enter your life, it comes into your life without you needing to do anything but accept it. And acceptance is what we're talking about today at the root of this particular conversation. The way this YouTube channel works right now until we move into the month of April of 2025 is on Mondays, we release a chapter for free of If You Live It before the book is ever published. We release it on ifyouliveit.com in the content section. You can find it there in English. We release it on YouTube in a video format where the chapter is introduced, the step is introduced, then it is read to you and scrolled on the page so you can start this program yourself. On Wednesdays, we release these diving deeper into series, which is where we're looking at the step from a particular angle, the chapter from a particular angle, the truth represented in this case, acceptance, the power of it, what it can do for you, how it can transform your life, how you can come from a place of acceptance, which is far greater than other aspects of being human that we've talked about. We dive into it, which we're going to do here shortly. On Fridays, we have a conversation about a spiritual truth, about a religious figure, about a religious text. So far, we've looked at who is Jesus. We've looked at the terminology, watch my feet, that you find in 12-step groups. We've looked at who is Krishna, what is the Gita, the Four Noble Truths. This week, we're diving deeper into the Eightfold Path. We've looked at another extremely powerful spiritual truth, which is surrender to win. Friday's videos are geared towards practical, applicable spirituality delivered to you in a way that you can apply it to your life to see changes happen in your life. From the moment you watch the video and apply the principle, you will see things starting to change. All of this is delivered to you through me, Mason Wooldridge, as the world would see it. What I do is I get out of the way. What I have done in this particular life is found the reality of God present. And when I say I have done that, I didn't do anything. The grace of God presented opportunity after opportunity to choose a path that was finally chosen. The path that was finally chosen was one that moved the Bodhisattva towards the realization of self, which all of you have the same opportunity for. This is how I serve God, by serving you in this particular way. I'm a teacher. I'm here to be a preacher unlike any other preacher, with a message unlike any other message that's reaching you and will continue to reach millions. And that is applying the reality of truth that's found behind the religion's figureheads. Not talking about religion, not talking about rules, not talking about dogma, not telling you that you have to adhere to or buy into or believe anything. Because the reality is present for this entity that's present today, Mason no longer has to be part of delivering this to you. I am but a channel, a vessel for you to allow God to come through this entity and speak directly to you. This book is not something that the persona of Mason even can take credit for. Every time I read a page, every time I record something, every time there's something being created to share with the world, and it comes through this individual, what you would see is Mason will read it or listen to it or look back on it, and it's fresh for me too. Every time. Because I don't have ownership of it. Because I have surrendered this mouth and these words and this presence over to a creator in every one of these instances, every one of these videos, every single post, that what's coming through is not Mason. What the world sees as Mason does not have barely enough power to it to make a good ham sandwich. Okay? But getting Mason out of the way, allowing what it is you see speaking to you to be out of the way, totally surrendered, so that God can come through it in such a way where love speaks. or the way that Christianity would talk about the Holy Spirit speaks, or the way that we would think about it in a way of life known as Hinduism, Krishna dwelling inside comes out for you. Truth comes out for you. In our last Friday video, we talked about the Four Noble Truths, and in that, what was shared was the realization that this pathway is modern Buddhism. It is the words of Krishna. It is the teachings of Jesus. It has you walking in their footsteps. It has you practicing these tenets and these principles and these religious and spiritual truths in a way that you are becoming the change you wish to see in the world. You are moving towards being Gandhi for the world. You are understanding the realities of service being a pathway to God. You are coming face to face with the reality of the different yogas, of the truths of the Upanishads, the realities of Krishna being 100% accurate, the realities of Jesus being the manifestation of the right hand of God as love coming into this world to give you a definable pathway to experience heaven while on this earth. That's what this channel is. That's what we're doing here. There's nothing like this on earth because there is no one else coming to you in this particular format on these particular channels that is allowing so much truth to be present for you. I want no credit for anything. I take no credit for anything. Eventually, it would be wonderful if book sales and YouTube clicks and all these different things create a world of revenue that allows us to bring this to you in person. I think that's what's happening. And over the course of the year, we'll see, because we've already reached a place where there's thousands and thousands of watch hours on the YouTube channel. We've already reached a place where books are ready to go out. We've reached a place where my other businesses will start supporting these outreach efforts in a way where money will be donated to going around the world speaking about God, delivering truth to you, delivering God to you in a way where you can take that into your own communities. The reality's set. It's certain. It's done. My entire life outside of this particular spiritual endeavor is geared towards serving God by serving man in other ways. But the way that I've structured the companies is that they will be donating a percentage of everything made to go out into the world to deliver this message to you, to help you start your own meetings, create your own spiritual groups, start applying these principles and practices. Taking it to the streets, baby. We're taking God, we're taking truth, we're taking Krishna, we're taking the Buddha, we're taking Allah, we're taking Jesus to the streets. Not in a way where we're here to proselytize to you, to tell you you have to convert to a religion, but in a way to show you God for yourself, so you can have your own self-realization, so you can transcend the ego and fears and let the clouds part, so that the sunlight of the Spirit allows itself to shine regularly on your face, so that happiness, joy, peace, contentment, satisfaction are byproducts of the reality of your existence, not things you're chasing after. This entire thing is designed to turbocharge serotonin and start dampening this dopamine addiction we all have. Right now, we are in a place in this world where things seem crazy. And for the vast majority of my life, I've seen this world as one that is giving us the opportunity to go in so many different directions with so many choices. And whether it was through rose-colored glasses or whether it was through just pure ignorance, looking around politically, looking around religiously, looking around just at the world, it seemed more promising. It seemed less chaotic than what it is today. In the United States of America right now, the country is reaching a boiling point of turmoil because people believe what's online versus then the love of their neighbors. They believe what political figures who are without integrity tell them on a national stage, as opposed to hugging their brother, hugging their sister, seeing the similarities that they have versus the differences. Freedoms and truth and integrity is under attack in the United States of America. It's under attack. It's under attack from all kinds of different angles. This is not a political rant or speech. It's just the truth of what's taking place. And then when I look around the world, because part of the intellect still desires really a way to see what's going on everywhere, I see the same fear-based tactics being used everywhere. This desire to strong-arm us, this desire to divide us, this desire to break unity, to try and destroy love. guess what? You don't have to do anything about it other than choose God. That's all you have to do. In this time, the most important thing you can possibly do is choose God, is choose truth, is choose applying spiritual principles into our life so that we become more love for the world around us. Fear and the collective ego is doing everything it can to stifle the opportunity to unite under a banner of love. It is petrified of love. The littlest bit of love, littlest bit, you can't even see through the fingers, is more, there's more power in the little bit of love, in the microcosm of love that would slide through my two fingers right now, than the entirety of this fear-based world that's taking place around us. What you see on social media is not real. What you see as teachers telling you they're coming from a place of truth but selling you fear is not real. Krishna is real. Jesus is real. The Buddhist teachings are real. Love is real. Don't buy into the fear. Don't let it stay. Don't let it stick. See it for what it is, an attempt to divide. And then now look for ways to unite. And one way you can unite is by applying truth in your life in every single degree. Stop posting negative things on whatever side of whatever fence you sit on to the other side. Stop tearing down. Stop breaking apart. If in your particular sphere, in your particular world, wherever you're watching this, you do not agree with what's taking place around you, then just choose to have your vote and your voice be one that brings peace and serenity in the choices that you make. We don't need this world to know God. This world is designed, however, to point us back to all of the illusory aspects of it so that we see that there is nothing but God. Fear will not win. Fear is force. Love is power. Power is. Power is. Force comes against. Power is unmoving, unchanging, unyielding. Because where it's coming from is the context out of which puny little fear arises as content. Our judgments of others, we have to let them go. Our opinions of the world, let's let them go. Our fears of what's going on around us, let it go. Worries and anxieties, let's let them go. How do you do that? Go back into this book. Look at chapters 1, 2, and 3 where we dive into the surrender process, what it looks like, how you do it, the power of it. Start in chapter 4 if you want to know forgiveness, where we start becoming forgiveness, living forgiveness, diving into forgiveness. All the way to where we are in this video, chapter 8, step 8, experiencing acceptance. Accept that what you are and where you are is karmically perfect, so that what happens next has the greatest opportunity to be of the most benefit to you. We are so much more than what we see in the mirror, than what we see mirrored online, than what we see in our national and international broadcasts. Remember, we live in a world that is constantly competing for attention. And really what it's constantly competing for when we go online or when we look at the TV, or it's competing for your attention to sell you something, to have you buy something. Remember that. That's why all of this is free to you. I don't want you to have to buy anything. It's free. I'm not selling anything. I'm delivering truth to you. I'm delivering God to you. I'm delivering a pathway to freedom from the ego and the opportunity for nirvana to you. Watching this, wherever you are, free. Are you ready for God? Are you ready to have your prayers answered? Are you ready to let go of being victim? Are you ready to chase God till your last breath? So if you expire due to no longer choosing to be in this world is perfectly fine, because you've accepted that the only reality we're chasing after is that which you're connected to God. You die here, that's not it. If you die here with Krishna dwelling in your heart, with Jesus at the center of your heart, by practicing the Eightfold Path, your eyes open, spiritually speaking, at a place that's heavenly. And then when you come back here, you start from that place. You don't start from the place of fear. If you die here chasing after wealth, if you die here filled with fear, riddled with anxieties, if you die here taking and not giving, if you die here not having learned that the most basic thing you can learn is that we serve God by serving others with truth, with love, then you have to come back here and you have to start from a place that is not as propitious towards experiencing more happiness and joy. In an instant, however, an instant, an instant of surrender, an instant of forgiveness, an instant of gratitude, you can see through all of it. You can see through the illusion of the self with a lowercase s into a world where the self is realized with an uppercase S, the self of God, the higher self. That's where the value of chasing after God comes in, is we let go of our opinions of what we are and who we think we are and the world around us for the realities of truth much higher, higher than the mind, higher than the intellect. The truths that arise out of context. So where does acceptance fall into us? Acceptance is something as simple as saying, maybe the words that I'm seeing and I'm hearing and that I'm listening to and that I'm being a part of right now are actually true. And then I don't need to buy into the fear. I don't need to be part of the buying machine of content. I don't need to think that this car or this house or this person or this significant other or this thing or these shoes or this clothes or these whatever is where I'm going to find happiness. Except that God is not found out there, but in here. Wherever you're coming from a religious background, the religious figurehead teaches the same. And if they don't, it's not really something you should follow if you're actually looking for truth in this world. If you come from a place of Christianity and your pastor doesn't know God and all they talk about is other people's opinions of and thoughts around and how you should vote and who you should look like and how you should be married and all of these shoulds, they don't know God. Because no one that knows God tells you what you should do. No one tries to take care of your finances for you. No one tries to tell you how you should live. They provide an example, an opportunity, a place of first-person narrative where they relate to you, the realities coming from them and through them, and show you what their life looks like. If you come from a place where the religious figurehead wants your money, wants your offerings, allows you to worship at their feet, whoa, be careful. If an entire guru's way of making a living is by having you pay money towards their cost of living, oh, watch out. Mankind is at a place right now where we're on a precipice. We're on a precipice of having a chance to evolve. It takes acceptance to even see that. Are we going to evolve to a place where we love one another, where we help one another, where we work together for greater goods? Or are we going to devolve to where we believe we're alone and isolated, scared, filled with fear, and need the Savior to help us, to take care of us, to protect us? Don't buy into the division. Sure, there is evil in the world. There are bad actors in the world. There are things in this world that will come to take your life and take your wealth and snatch your existence from you. But as Jesus is quoted as saying, if you get smacked on one cheek, turn the other. Why? Because it shows your attachment to this world is no more. It shows that you come from a place where you would rather be happy and serve God than be right and vindicated. Being right and vindicated, righteous anger, that comes from the ego. It doesn't come from God. Whatever religious background you're coming from, you have truths that have been presented to you that the only way for you to know their validity is by walking them, being them, choosing them, emulating them, whether it's the Buddha, whether it's Krishna, whether it's Jesus, whether it's Lao Tzu, whatever. It is. It's about walking these truths, doing these things. If you're like I was for many years and you just read about and felt a little bit better because of what you read about, but never actually applied these things into your life, that's why your life hasn't changed. That's why you haven't found more peace. That's why things aren't better. Even if you have no food to eat, but you're watching this video, if you, in this moment, surrender your life over to God, if you practice surrender and forgiveness and service for the world, you will have a meal tonight. You'll have a meal tomorrow. You'll find a roof for your head. Find clothes for the body. These things will be provided to you. Because the way this whole thing works is that whatever we need is provided to us. And what you'll also see through acceptance is that if I accept the opportunity to emulate Jesus, to emulate Krishna, to emulate the Buddha, to emulate, name the spiritual teacher whose life is something worth emulating, you will start having your own experiences, your own moments of truth, your own aha, your own realizations. And it will take you all the way to the place where food and clothing and others aren't needed for your life. They're benefits, they're positives if they show up. But you may reach a place where I don't need to be in this world any longer. And because the realization of God has presented itself in such a way that all I see is God everywhere, it's okay to leave. You don't have to buy into this game. You can say, yes, Lord, I do accept the opportunity to leave. Thank you. You can walk into death excited for the fact that life will never be the same again. Again, this world is designed to try and divide. Truth unites. Acceptance is a key in seeing that. Accept that wherever you are is where you're supposed to be. Whatever you're a part of is part of this karmic opportunity to see the illusions of life fall away. I don't care what caste you find yourselves in. I don't care where you are sitting or walking or standing or driving while listening or watching this. I don't care what pains and fears and torments are in your life, because they don't have to remain. You can let go of them, of your attachment to them, of your belief that you are them or that they are you. You are not your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, this body, this brain, this mind. You are none of those things. That's the illusion that you have to see through. That's where acceptance starts. Thank you for who you are in this world, where you are in this world. The next choice is up to your intent. Is your intent fixed? Have you declared an intent to God? Or are you just aimlessly wandering through this existence? I've been there. I've aimlessly wandered through this thing thinking I was going to find happiness or joy or peace or love or prosperity or, I don't know, recognition out there. That's not where you find it. It's inside, that it's all present, waiting to be seen. Many blessings on another week. Check back in on Friday, where we dive into the Eightfold Path. We look at it from the context of how do you apply this, and how, as if you live it, a modern recontextualization of the Buddhist teachings, of Krishna's reality, of Jesus' Gospels. It's all one thing. Let's give it till next time. Peace and love. Yeah.